Everybody. It is Living with Annietude on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with the beautiful and wonderful Chantels Bio. How are you, my love?
Amazing. Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
You're both fabulous and amazing. We were just discussing how stubborn our little boys can be. So I told her that hers went to bed because he had a bad attitude today, right?
Yes.
So mine is having a Fortnite tournament in his bedroom right now. His 11th birthday is tomorrow. So he's allowed, but he's screaming like on and off and throwing things. So I said to Chantel, I'm sorry if, it gets out of hand. I apologize, but this is what's going on. No one's beating him. He's screaming like on his own accord.
That's okay. We get this. This is the new virtual world, right? My son had a Minecraft birthday party this year where all of the family members tuned in and wished him happy birthday as a surprise on Minecraft. How crazy, right? Yeah.
Really cool. I mean, mind you, like how we can really turn things around and make them into something cool during such a hard time.
Right.
So, but more importantly, the most important question I have of the entire night is how does your hair always look that good? Like, I'm dead serious. If I ask nothing else for the rest of the half hour, I just want to know, I need to understand how it always delivers.
You're hilarious. I actually just got it done today, like a few hours ago.
No, girl, I have seen you on every platform. I have seen you in the morning. I've seen you do your videos, and your hair looks like you popped out of your trailer ready to go. And I'm like, I just need to understand. So, okay, so do you get it done every day, or how does that go? Like, I don't understand.
No. I mean, I even curl it with a straightener, which you never hear of.
Well, I want to let you know that above all else, what's important is that your hair always looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You and Raquel Boris always have the most amazing hair. So I'm starstruck. I really am. But for the viewers, the few viewers and guests that don't know who you are, would you give me a little rundown of your little bio and who you are?
Of course. Okay. So, Chantel Soumis, Midwest, bubbly and blessed. Marketing obsessed. I can keep going.
How many rhymes do we have? Keep going.
I don't know if there's anything left. No. But so I was born into an entrepreneurial family in the Midwest here. My parents had an accounting firm and they gifted me the privilege of being able to play around with marketing and promotions and what the outside of a business and inside of a business really is. So I didn't really realize that marketing was something you could do. I thought it was just a fun, like, Girl Scout project, you get to plan parties and thank people and be the cool person all the time. It's awesome. So I actually went to school for nursing and failed out of college. It was not my calling.
I get it.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. And my mom was like, why not marketing? I thought you loved marketing. And I was like, what's marketing? What is this you speak of?
What does that mean?
You basically plan events and promotions for a living and you're the person that everybody wants to be around. I'm like, yes, I need friends. So I went down the world of marketing. Oh, hi, Lila. Oh, I love you so much.
Poor Lila. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but her vote is on hot rollers for your hair.
Ooh, it's not. I wish I could figure those out, but thanks.
I can't either, girl. And also, by the way, we have another love of my life. This is my first professor getting my MBA. I got my worst grade in his class of a B-, the worst one I got the whole time, but that's okay. I'm never going to let him live it down, but he's an accountant, obviously, so he says love accounting. Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
Sometimes the comments come in and I get a little nervous.
Accountants live an interesting life, let me tell you. I mean,
one that I don't really understand. So, I mean,
they're like a vampire. I mean, you never see them at all, like January through April. There's just a creature of the night. Anyways, I digress. Both of my parents were, and having that I have 3 older brothers that are all entrepreneurs. I mean, they're all doing something for themselves. So kind of felt like I needed to do something. I could just kind of like, Chantel, what are you doing? You need to start a business. And so I didn't at first. I actually got really sick. I lost my job and I had a newborn at home and my husband was unemployed. So we had 0 income and it was like the most trying time of my life trying to figure out, what, and the food pantry hours are crazy. I mean, some are only open on like Tuesday, then Wednesday, the next week, then Thursday. So if you miss it, you're out of luck. And this stress and everything, and the
I
food
can't,
that
I know. I
no,
can't even.
it was killing me. Like literally my body was shutting down. And
Yeah.
it went through this diagnosis of MS. So I talk
Mm.
openly and often about multiple sclerosis because I lost my vision. I lost my ability to walk. I even lost my ability to hear effectively. So with the one eye that I have that is actually working, I could read lips more, but
Wow.
it was really this gift of perspective and understanding
Yeah.
that we have a beautiful gift of life and we need to start using it a lot more to our own fulfillment and love
Mhm.
and doing more for
Mhm.
our community. So that's when I started falling in love with personal branding because I had a disability, I was unemployed, I needed to market myself. And that's me. I mean, that's how Stardust
That's
Creative was born.
an unbelievable story. I mean, to think about where you've been and that you turn it around, and that's such living with Annietude, by the way, turning it around and finding the gifts in it when things were taken from you and you were robbed of, all of these things that we take for granted every day. And you were able to turn it around and sort of create this gift and then start this business. It's just truly, truly an unbelievable story.
When life
So,
gives you lemons, right? You're not
right,
just gonna sit there with those silly
vodka and
lemons. You got to do
lemonade, right?
yes, tequila.
But I'm so tell me more about the business, like what it is that you do for clients and just sort of delve into that a little bit for
The
me.
business side, sure.
Mhm.
So I started off doing more of a digital marketing front and teaching people how to use social media. But then I realized that there's this huge need for more of the organic side of marketing, more of the social media influence, building influence and having
Mhm.
conversations. So a lot of clients are executives that want to connect with their employees. And how do they do that? They do that on social media by being
Right,
fun and funny and bringing humor to the table. And
right.
by doing that, you help your team feel loved, appreciated, and valued. But you're also creating a face as that lead nurturer for your business. It's good for the health and the bottom line there too. So
Yeah.
that's what I do, and I love it. A lot of people ask me, "What the heck is personal branding?" And I love to talk it in the sense of my two favorite commercials. So the insurance industry makes everybody cringe. It's not a fun, it's not a sexy industry.
Mhm.
But what they did in order to help connect the customers with the brand is they built personas like Flo from
Yep.
Progressive
Yep.
or Jake
So
from
everybody
State
knows what
Farm.
those.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. That's exactly what I do is I build Flo's and Jake's.
I love it. But what you said that stuck out to me before, which I think that, for two things. First of all, in business, it seems like you really thrive on like connecting. So that connection piece is so important to you. But what most interested me that you said in the beginning when you were describing yourself was I talk openly and honestly. I'm an open book, you said earlier to me about my MS. And it's just interesting that we even have to preface like that, like when I
Yeah.
talk about mental health and things like that and awareness, and that it's interesting that in this day and age we even need to say, well, I'm an open book and I share that. It's such a gift too that you're sharing that with people, just to show the successes that you've had and what you've made of sort of a terrible thing that's occurred in your life, and you've turned it into this gift. And I sort of want to know how you did that mentally. Like, how are you able to sort of
Oh, I was that's a good question. And talking about mental health, that you at one point you needed that sparkle. You needed that little glimmer of hope that helped you to hold
sliver?
on. And anytime I'm a part of these groups, these MS groups or autoimmune diseases, I have a bunch, like
Yeah.
half a dozen autoimmune diseases. And the MS, unfortunately, is just the one that's the most debilitating.
Mm.
And I see these people that are newly diagnosed and they have zero hope and they feel like they need to give up. And the most alarming thing is that the biggest cause of death in MS patients isn't always MS related symptoms. It's suicide or
Okay.
mental health.
Mhm.
And especially knowing somebody, my husband was friends with somebody whose wife ended up taking her own life because of her
Mm.
MS was so bad and she just felt like a burden. So having that and being able to be the sparkle and the joy and the happiness of what could be, you can hold on and life gets better when you embrace the baloney and you just
Yeah.
march forward.
Yeah, it's really, really hard when you're in a dark place, and I've been there. I mean, where it's very hard to grasp onto anything that's going to help you through, but there always is hope. There's always that shred of hope to grab onto, and you have to lean into your support and lean into the love in your life. And like you said, sort of turn it into, the gift. And what did you bring to the table? And what you brought was you found that hope, and you are that sparkle. I mean, it's obvious when you show up, you and your hair. You just show up as this beautiful being.
So shiny.
You're so shiny, especially today. And it's such a gift, and just so incredibly inspiring that it makes sense that you're doing what you're passionate about. Like, it makes sense that this is your purpose-driven life, and I can totally relate to that.
Yes. I want everybody to find it and live it.
And that's part of that's to me, part of what your purpose is, and your drive is, that you want to help other people, and you want them to figure out who their flow is and who their Jake is, and show them that. And that's what makes you good at what you do. So we have a little bit more love. We have Michael Paterano, who said, 2 amazingly inspirational women that I would love my daughters to look up to. Oh, that makes me cry. Vulnerable, being your best selves, and always bringing value to everybody. So sweet. Gabriel says, Lila Smith, hello there, madam.
Gabriel.
I don't know what's going on, bud. I know. G is hooking it up tonight, coming to say hi. Everybody's showing you love, girl. Everybody's showing you love. So tell me about, have you been diagnosed with MS when you had your son, or did that come out afterwards?
So I was really sick before. I mean, I've had a long battle of mental, like, depression and anxiety and mild obsessive compulsive. Yeah. So it was all kind of triggered and flew in together. And right after I had my son is when a woman's hormones are bananas and your whole body changes. And that's exactly when I went through it. I lost my vision. It was like stress, hormones, not having the right foods. And it was
everything together. Yeah. I had terrible postpartum with my daughter. So I understand, I was living this life, Chantel, and I was supposed to be this happy, I was married, I had 2 beautiful, healthy babies. And I wanted to, honestly, I'm not saying this to be funny, drive into a wall. I was why am I not happy? What's wrong? And it was just all the hormones and the mental stuff. And it's just such a trying time. That you mentioned support groups. I think that it's so important to lean into support groups. And if I didn't have the support in my life that I have, I would not be okay ever. Let alone going to the right doctors or being on medication or practicing meditation, all of that. But you need to lean into your support.
Absolutely. You cannot be ashamed of the need for help. You have to go out and get the help. And the best part is that people love to help. So ask. I mean, it makes people feel good. You're doing a good thing by asking for help.
Now, did you always feel confident like that, asking for help?
Yeah. So confident. No, I mean, I kept my battles hidden for my whole life. Didn't talk about them. And I was a really nasty person. So nasty. I didn't have any friends in middle school or high school. I was not the bubbly, joyful person that I am today. I was depressed and sad and anxious and frustrated. I was bully. It was not a good spot. And I don't know why my husband fell in love with me. It must be my hair.
It is not your hair. It's your true self that he saw. However, that aside, you also happen to be beautiful, but that aside.
When somebody sees the good in you and you just have that one person that believes in you, it changes everything. And I feel like having that really changed everything for me, because then I finally felt like I deserved to be happy. I finally deserved.
You're a little teary.
You feel me. You feel me.
I do. I'm an empath. I feel you when you're talking, and it's just ooh, a little choked up there. But he saw that, and he knew who you really were, and he saw and yourself being seen, right?
Yes. And it was kind of embarrassing. You hold on to shame in terms of dealing with these things or past traumas. And it was finally okay for me to talk about it and work through it with somebody that loved me, regardless of all the darkness, that they didn't need that sunshine and rainbows that a lot of people see in me as a front or a cover. But this person saw the darkness and absolutely loved it, and wanted to bring sunshine.
And because when you're I'm going to go ahead and say us because of what I'm getting from you. When you're like that, I think oftentimes you feel that that's the only way that you're going to be liked and loved. And when you put out that sunshine and rainbows, are you going to be liked and accepted and loved? And then when someone comes along and loves you for your, like you just said, I'm like dying over here. When someone comes along and sees you for your darkness and embraces that, not in spite of, but embraces that piece of you.
Doesn't try to change you at all. Yeah.
No. Oh, I can feel how much you love him. That's amazing.
I'm so lucky.
Yeah. You're lucky, but also you put that out there. So you give that as well. You know, you can't really get that kind of person in your life unless you give what you're giving. So, you know, I guess so do you think that he helped you sort of with that self-love piece?
100%.
He helped you find that.
And I think a lot of that came with becoming a mother too. And I never had an empathetic bone in my body until I became a mom. And I thought, you know, what am I doing? Because it was all a chance, like a 0.1% chance that I would have this child. And lo and behold, here this bundle of joy is. And I finally had to kind of embrace the empathy and really understand that you're the world to somebody. You know, you are the world, not just to especially your significant other, but a baby. Yes, this thing is really surviving off of you. I mean, everything. Even your meals. Yeah.
And there's something about a boy mom too. There's something. I have both, and there's not a loving more than another or anything like that. But Sam is my soul. My son is my soul. My daughter is my heart, and like my son, like our relationship is something that's just this mommy son thing that just is totally irreplaceable. There's nothing else like it. So I understand like where that person is depending on you, but then don't you see as he's growing, like you sort of depend on him too. Like you have this, you know, like you have this you're never not going to have that. Like it only gets better. I have to tell you, my son is becoming like one of my very best friends. Like he's so cool. Although he doesn't realize how cool I am. I think, you know, he's going to understand one day that I'm like super, super cool. But you know, he's like a friend. Like he's like, Mom, did you run today? Because you know, you have a lot better days when you run. I'm like, you know me so well. He's like, are you freaking out? It's okay. He's like, rubbing my back. Like, oh, I have it all together, Sam. I have it all together.
We all need someone like that. That's adorable.
It's true. So it only gets better. I know 6 is adorable, but can be very hard.
It's the virtual learning. Let's be honest.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I'm not cut out for this.
No, not working from home and teaching virtual and like having them be on Zoom and everything like that. It's just really, I mean, all of the people that are writing in, like, first of all, Jason Leibowitz said, I'm jealous.
Aww.
So there's lots of people that are jealous of us tonight, hanging out, us blondies. I mean, I'm pretending. And being seen as such a magical thing, Michael said. And being accepted as we are is so powerful. And guess what? You got another compliment. You're digging on the compliment tonight. G said, nice eyewear.
Do you like my candles?
That cat eyewear thing you got.
Just keep complimenting me. Keep telling
everybody that writes in, if you could just keep complimenting. I don't know what topic Simon Parsons was talking about. I'm sorry, Simon. I missed your comment. Darn it. Whatever topic we talked about was amazing, Chantel. So we'll just keep that going. So I think I wanted to cover sort of you being in love the way that you are. I think that's such a beautiful thing, and your son and your little family. So is having any more kids off the table, or not even like a concern? Because for me, like I'm closed, like shop is like no, not a chance. You know, I mean, but I'm a lot older than you.
So no, I would love to. I mean, that's definitely something that I've always wanted to do. It's hard with the career, you know, like growing up, I was told that, when I first started, this is good stuff. When I first started creating on LinkedIn, I started sharing a lot more of my personal story with it, but in a professional way that had tact and art. And this one gentleman once told me that mothers don't fit in the workforce because their job is to raise children, not to, make money. Yeah. And I thought, wait, what? Yes, I get that there's a culture divide here, and there's other ways of doing things in other cultures. But at the same time, I thought, well, am I not around enough? Am I being a
So
good
it starts
mom?
that guilt, that self
Right?
guilt and shame.
Yes.
Mhm.
So then you
Mhm.
think like, am I good enough to have another one? Or is this child going to be a healthy, independent, strong, incredible human being? Or am I working too much? So
It's definitely a mom thing to put that guilt and that shame on ourselves. And I do it every day. Like there's never a day when I'm like, oh, it's fine. I ignored them all day and worked. Like, because the babysitter's here, or like I don't have a sitter and they're on the iPads, like there's never a day that goes by. But like you created this most beautiful, amazing human being. You did it, you and your husband, right? And you love that child. You said it was the first time you felt empathy, which I don't even believe, but it was the first time you felt that in your life, or so you were in touch with, right? You did that. You would do that again. If everything fell into place and was aligned and you did that, it would be a beautiful, wonderful thing. But there's no chance, just in talking to you in this amount of time, that you would not be an incredible mom of a second baby. Like you're like look at how you turn everything into a gift.
Everybody has opinions, I suppose, and it's easy to judge something that they don't understand. Like this came from a man who was clearly a single man and did not have any children.
I mean,
So
yeah. Like let's be real
but
here
these
for a second.
things, I mean, you think about these things and they do make an impact. You remember like every negative thing. It's hard to remember the good things. So when you hear these things, especially, with my great grandmothers or grandmothers, that was their job, was to raise children to be independent and strong and hardworking. And then, the shift, it was so quick almost in my life, in my personal life, that I was just like, oh, well, we're doing things different now. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, but you have to remember too, that like our job is not only to love them, but our job is to model the way and be a role model and show them the way to do things, not just tell them, right? As that expression goes, do as I say, not as I do. Like I'm like, what's that? I'm always messing up stuff like that. But like, I'm showing them, like, I just, got my master's and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've done some hard things. And I showed them like that I could do it. That was my favorite part about that graduation, was like being like, look what I did. And my daughter got to see that, I'm working at the same time and getting my MBA and, single mom and single dads too out there that are trying to do what we're doing. I mean, it's really hard. Even as a couple, it's hard. It's all hard. It's all really hard. And it's all like in perspective. I think you just proved it to me too, just when you came on and you said, the way you spun things and made it into a gift, and look at this gift that's been given to me. It's like all of the things that come across our plate every day, all of the negative things or the good thing, whatever, it's all in how we look at things. It's all our perspective. So that's why I try to live every day as my best self. And I'm not successful every single day, but I really try. I really try. So your advice to anyone listening is about living with Annietude and living as your most authentic self would be
to embrace the baloney and drive through it. Like make the baloney work on your behalf, for sure.
Ooh, what do you mean? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. So when I started sharing my story a lot, I would get a lot of haters. Is a big part of it. So I have a lot of brain damage because of my multiple sclerosis. So what is it? All right. MS is a deterioration of your brain and your nervous system. Not brain, your nervous system. So the way your nerves work, they don't fire the same. I have a ton of brain damage, and I say and I have a stammer if I'm not constantly thinking about what I'm going to say next, as well as a droopy face. So half of my face droops more than the other. And when people see your video content, they think that they can talk about anything about you. Like, I wish that you wouldn't stammer or stutter, or cut out those in editing or whatever. And I'm just like, wait, what? That's part of me. I don't care about it. It's fine. So the haters, is one thing. They become your fans once they understand. You fight ignorance with love, because it isn't hate 90% of the time. It is just a lack of understanding. And those people who do understand, they can relate, because having an invisible illness or a disability is so common. So
all of mental health is that, it's so invisible. And look at you, like you carry yourself like you're so vibrant and You bring all, this is your energy that you're showing. This is not, you're doing this all against your struggles. You know, it's just really amazing. I don't mean to be so starstruck, but I kind of am. Like, I'm like,
you're so sweet.
No,
Thank you.
Like, what's happening right now? Like my face.
This is a good day.
I'm like, I don't have that stuff. And I say, all the time. So, you know, what am I doing wrong here? I have to work on that too. I just, you know, my whole thing is like, F the haters. I mean, like, please.
Yes.
You know?
I know it, but those, like, even the haters, I still am ultra sensitive now to the point where I just want them to be friends. I just want, like, no, we're going to work through this. Yeah. We're going to address this right here, right now. And we're going to
like each other. Yeah. I like that. I like that because it's clearly not about you. Clearly it's not about you and that they're hating on that's all BS, you know, but it's like, so anybody listening, if you're one of those people that hates on other people, like, can you just chill for a second? Because it's really not a nice, becoming way to be. And that's not being your truest, most authentic self. You're actually not being a good person. So stop, because it does hurt people to act that way. So I believe that, you know, sometimes I'll say something sarcastic and a little obnoxious, like to a friend, like just about, you know, but I'm so self-deprecating that like, it's funny, you know, like I make fun of myself the most out of anyone. But I just think it's so important to like put, like, especially modeling for your children, like just be kind, just be kind. Like it's not hard, you know, just be kind.
Yeah, grace and kindness go so far.
They do. And, you know, I don't want you to ever be affected by anybody that says anything negative. And if they do, you come to me. I'll be like your big sister. I will take these guns that, wait, let me move this way and show you my guns.
Whoa! It's not running that your son has you.
Right? Guns out, or whatever they say. So I'm going to take these guns and beat them up if they're not nice to you. And I'm going to say, we need to work this out, but I'm not as nice as you. I'm not quite as nice as you. But so we are nearing the end of the time, believe it or not. But I wanted to ask you one quick question. How did you get your name?
My parents, the accountants, they
that's really funny.
They had their business, right? They didn't know if I was going to be a boy or a girl because I'm old enough that I came before the times of ultrasounds.
You're just old enough.
And they went through their filing cabinets looking at their clients and tried to find an interesting name. And one of the women that they had was a Chantel. So,
oh my God, it's such a beautiful name. It really is. It really is. I have to tell you a quick story before our time ends. So about your parents, the accountants. So I took this. I want your parents to see this. I took this career test one time. There's a lot of different career tests, but this like actually was for a real estate company and actually parses through everything about your personality and tells you what you should be doing, 90 different careers, what you should be doing, all the way down to what you shouldn't be doing, right? So the first one I should have been like 3 times taking this test. I was supposed to be a motivational speaker. So it was like still coming, right? The number 90 was an accountant. Every single time, number 90 was an accountant. So then, of course, I go to get my MBA, and I'm like, great. There's all this like accounting and finance, but I do have to tell you, it is the last profession that I should ever be. You'll have to tell your parents. You know,
that's how I feel.
For now, the accountants, my parents, the accountants.
Yeah, I miss the genetic there, the gene. I mean, all my brothers, they're so good with money, and I'm just terrible. I hire people for that.
Exactly. I hire people to do that. Me too, girl. Me too. But I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. And there's all these different people that are saying hi. Should we go through real quick before we get to end?
Sure, throw them up there. Let's
oh my God. Back. I mean, Jen Russman, my energy girl, make baloney work on your behalf.
Genergy vibes.
Energy. Jen, Chantel, we need to connect, girl. MS Warrior. Yes. Oh, my girls. I'll be coming up for her too. I will. Everybody's saying hi. Oh my God, haters, we're going to work through this. She's laughing at us. Lila Smith said some people are authentically shitty. You know what, Lila? I want to believe that's not true, but it's most definitely true. Oh, Jairus, hi, bud. Jairus showed up to say hello.
Jairus, hi.
Oh, he's such a doll. I can't take it. When these people, I feel so like, wait, Lila said, Genergy, I'm just saying I would watch. I have to say that like I feel super, super popular. Like when people come on and say hi, it's totally because of you. But like when people come on my show and say hi, I'm like, yes, people, friends. It's really super exciting. But you are truly a sunshiny gift. And guess what? You don't have to be sunshine and rainbows with me all the time. You can come and your darkness anytime, and I will accept you and love you.
Thank you. My favorite kind of music is heavy metal music, and I have like my soul is like darker than dark.
I love black souls. It's
done.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Love it. And also just make sure your hair looks like that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do my best.
Everyone, this is my stay on. I want to talk to you for just 1 minute, but everybody, this is my outro. We are going out. Good night and good luck. Living with Annietude. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night.
Bye.